Welcome back, everyone. Paul Chamberlain, the Air Force guy, here with Everything RVs podcast. This podcast has been for you, those of you that are currently camping, those looking to camp, because my job is to bring you the information that you need so that you can go out and make memories that last a lifetime. Now, I'm proud to say that my sponsor today for this podcast is Extreme Heaters. And I'll tell you what, with this cold front coming across the country, this is something that many of you that are living out of your RVs should take advantage. Besides skirting your camper, this is the ultimate and the safest way to go ahead and keep your RV from freezing, the pipes from freezing, that is. And by the way, I was turned on to this product by a customer of mine that was camping up in upstate New York last year, and he was not in a four-season camper. But once he put, you know, those silver things you put in your windshield in your car, he just took one of those with some cinder blocks, held that on the ground there, taped it to his camper, put this underneath. He said he was using half the propane and it was staying 10 degrees warmer in his camper. So I looked into it. They're made right here in Georgia. So it's a U.S. product. They've been around since 2004, started in the boating industry. And over the last 3 years, they've been transitioning into the RV market, which is better than 50% of their business. So check them out. Have them down below. By the way, discount code is good till January 31st. So Extreme Heaters, if you're looking for protection, you want the safest and most effective way of doing it, check them out. I'll have the link down below. But without further ado, today I have a special guest. Let me bring her on here. I'm going to let her introduce herself. But this is Kathy Chamberlain. No relationship or relation to Chamberlain. But she's from the UK. I'm going to let her introduce herself. We're going to be talking about the Barefoot from New Camp today. But Kathy, tell our listeners who you are and how you got involved with New Camp.
Okay. Hi, Paul. Thank you for having me on. And yeah, I'm on the other end of the wire here from the UK. So I'm the founder and managing director of Barefoot Caravans in the UK. And we have been manufacturing the Barefoots over here for about 12 years now, and launched the product a couple of years ago with New Camp in the USA after huge demand for Barefoot Caravans over in America. So I'm really proud to be partnering with New Camp. There's a lovely photo of, the pearl pink. And they started off with a sea glass blue as well. And yeah, really amazing partnership we have with New Camp. As you'll know, or lots of your viewers will know, they've got amazing eye for quality and craftsmanship. And so we've been searching for a while for a partner in the US. And I can tell you a bit more about this as we go along. But New Camp, we were very fortunate to meet up with them first of all in 2018. And they have brought the Barefoot to America, which has been a real joy and a real great moment of pride for all of us in the UK.
Well, that's awesome. So now, let me get you up here on here. So now, how did you come about as far as, getting with New Camp and introducing that product to them?
It was we launched in the UK. We launched properly about 10 years ago. Was our very first show, our first full commercial show. And whilst I'd been creating the Barefoot Caravan in the UK, we'd been filmed and we're on a TV program over here called George Clark's Amazing Spaces. And from that, things escalated quite quickly, and we were on BBC World News, which was obviously went round globally. So I received lots of inquiries about Barefoot Caravans at that stage, and we'd already had, I think, about between 2016 and 2018, we had about 10,000 inquiries from the US from people wanting a Barefoot, and we'd explored whether we could bring a Barefoot Caravan over to America. But as you know, the door's on the different side, whether the wrong side, the right side, whichever way you look at it. Right. The door's on the different side, and you've got all sorts of different sort of requirements really for your market as well. How grey water tanks work, and how the electrics work, and the tow hitch. There's a number of differences, and so it wasn't really commercially viable to be shipping all of these Barefoot Caravans across and altering them and so on. And so we were looking for a manufacturer in the US. And after this slot that we'd had on BBC World News, I was approached by a few people through LinkedIn. And one of them knew of 𝑩𝒂𝒓𝒆𝒇𝒐𝒐𝒕 very well. And he'd previously been I think it was the R&D director with Airstream. So a guy called Bruce Bannister, who was originally English and has lived in the US for 20 years. And he knew all about 𝑩𝒂𝒓 and introduced us and said, we've got because I'd been speaking to companies myself and I just thought they weren't quite right and sometimes the quality wasn't right. And he said, no, 𝑩𝒂𝒓 are the one. The quality is absolutely exceptional. The whole ethos, the Amish background, the sense of community around everything that we stand for in the UK fitted with 𝑩𝒂𝒓. So we were introduced and got on fantastically right from the word go. Yeah.
I tell you, well, 𝑩𝒂𝒓 is the manufacturer for that product. I mean, I think they're a perfect fit. I've been selling 𝑩𝒂𝒓 for quite some time, and I have been up to the factory many times. Just recently went up as well, and actually interviewed the CEO now as well. And
Jessie, I know. I just was watching the video back again this morning. Yeah, of your interview with Jessie, which was really good to see.
It was, that was something he just took over the reins from his dad, and just kind of get an insight to what he sees and a little bit of background on him. And I think it's exciting to be able to talk with the people that are actually running the show, and especially when you have the smaller manufacturers, because I think they're more in tune to what the people, their customers, the larger manufacturers, I just think that, they're just putting things out just to put things out,
Yeah, I know. I think the way that 𝑩𝒂𝒓 build their products, the way that they're so open to all of these tours, and you've obviously been on a tour, it's the cleanest, most well-organized factory you could possibly ever imagine. The staff are all completely committed to working for 𝑩𝒂𝒓. Lots of skilled craftsmen and women, which we really like about it. And they've just got the right attitude, really. And as Jessie said in his interview, we do good. We want to do even better. It's not about just getting these RVs out there, and it doesn't matter what they're like. They really care about their dealers. They care about their customers. They've got this lovely community with them. They hold events regularly, so they know they need to be accountable for how the product is, and they really take a pride in that. It's lovely. Yeah.
Certainly. So now what part of England are you in?
Well, I'm in Cheshire, near Manchester, but our factory, I've actually had a minor skiing accident a couple of weeks ago. So you've caught me at home today because I'm on crutches, but hopefully not for too much longer. But our factory is in the Cotswolds, so beautiful part of the world, sort of quintessentially English, really. We're very fortunate to be down there. I've always been from Cheshire. When I decided to create the Barefoot Caravan, it was literally from scratch. And I knew I wanted to make something out of fiberglass because I wanted to have the curves in there and the shape, and then the long life that goes with that as well. I was sort of looking around thinking, who can I get to make something out of fiberglass? And it was really boat builders. And then also I thought about motorbike sidecar manufacturers. So I don't know if you have many motorbike sidecars over there. They certainly appeared on the Harry Potter movie. In fact, that was my business partner Ben's motorbike sidecar on there. So the Barefoot is kind of like a giant motorbike sidecar, but with a lot more involved with it. So that's how I ended up with this business in the Cotswolds, was meeting up with Watsonian and Squire, my business partners. So there's Ben, who's the same age as myself, and then Mike, who's quite a few years older, who's now retired, but he was certainly the technical brains behind everything, really, and a wealth of experience, So I sort of go up and down the motorway a bit and stay down there in a Barefoot Caravan or whatever as well, and we make it work. So I'm quite often office based, which gives me time for thinking and having calls like this and this sort of thing. But then we've got a great team down at our factory in the Cotswolds.
Certainly. So you had mentioned, so were you building sidecars before? I mean, how did you get into the into the RV industry there in England?
Yeah, so no, I wasn't. My business partner Ben was building motorbike sidecars.
Okay.
Their company's been building them for over 100 years, but that meant that they were absolute experts in working with fiberglass. And I came along with this idea to say, I'd like to create a cool caravan that's got curve, that's, you know, as beautifully designed on the outside as it is on the inside, because that's how I kind of, when I've looked into it, I was actually looking for a small caravan to use for myself, to go away with my kids and go away with a friend and whatever, and I love going to outdoor events and either being at one with nature or going to a music festival, you know, so like all of it, and couldn't find the right thing, and so sort of decided that I would design something from scratch and try and bring it to market. And so that's how it happened, really. So I went along with this idea of what I wanted to create. They laughed at me a bit, and then actually realised we got on really well, and that, yeah, let's do it. So we designed something. I thought you might be interested actually to see. This is like one of the original designs. So it's literally you know, sketched out, and you know, you can see the sort of shape and form on it. There's one from the back. It's actually landed up pretty similar. The lights are different, but pretty similar to the original sketches. So we sketched it up. We built you know, a prototype in the factory, and we improved it and enhanced it over about 3 or 4 years. We spent a long time working on it. Originally, it wasn't going to have I know you call it the wet bath, have the bathroom in there. We thought we didn't need that, and then as time moved along, I said, no, we really do, and particularly when people want to go. Again, we call it off-road, but you'd call it boondocking, I think, when you just want to be out wherever you are, and you need all your facilities there. So actually, you do want to be able to have a shower and a loo in there, and then the shower, go out the window and wash your dog as well, or wash your surfboard down or whatever. So in the end, we spent a long time developing it, but actually came up with something that was really, really lovely, really special. Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. So you were a camper before, or you wanted to camp before you decided to make this?
I was a tent camper. Yeah.
Okay. And then you wanted to get up off the ground and get into something you don't have to worry about setting up, I take it.
Yeah, I think so. And also with the weather, I think you get quite variable weather these days as well. We get quite a lot of rain in the UK. So it's from that side, it's nice to be able to know that you're warm and cozy. And you were just talking about heating, you know, our caravans now, we can use them all year round. So it extends the season. If you were just tent camping in the UK, you might do that from, I don't know, May to September, unless you're very hardy. But you know, this extends you basically can go all year round now with heating, hot water, and all your facilities in the caravan. Yeah, and also take off around Europe or, you know, further afield. Yeah.
So, you know, I spent 3 years over in England when I was in the Air Force.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I was at Upper Hayford. It's over by Bicester in Oxford.
Okay, that's really quite close to us.
Yeah. So I do understand the weather over there, that's for sure. And, you know, it may not get too cold, but the dampness really does make it feel a heck of a lot colder. That's for sure.
Yes, I've heard people saying this. We're used to that, I suppose. But yes, it does anyways. Yeah. But it's a beautiful country. And of course, we have all these lovely green spaces and lakes and things. And you don't get those without quite a bit of water, do you?
So let me ask you, so if any of these listeners were taking a trip to England and they wanted to stop by and see your factory, do you allow people to do factory tours there?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, sorry, my ring doorbell's going off. Yeah, be absolutely delighted to we do many factory tours, and look, most people collect their barefoot directly from the factory as well, and they like to see where it's made, so they can go through the whole process with us. Yeah, but we really are proud of showing off how we build the caravans. I think initially when we first started, we were thinking, who's going to want to see behind the scenes and all these wires and what goes on? But actually people are fascinated by it. Yeah. And the level of insulation that goes in there. And then people can see the level of care that goes into them. You know, this sort of egg on wheels arrives in our factory. So and it's the same in the US. You know, they're built so that the body's very, very firmly bonded on with the chassis, so they won't leak at all. And then, yeah, all have to be hand fitted inside, so everything has to come in either through the front window or through the door. And so we can assemble some cabinets before they go in, but most things have to be hand fitted in there. So there's a real process with it, and people enjoy seeing that. So yeah, we're very much open door and enjoy showing people around. Yeah.
So now, do you have in England? Do you have more than one floor plan?
No, we just have one floor plan. We did originally created a more of an empty space almost, so that people could fit out themselves. So it just had a sink unit across one side. But ultimately, then when we took that to shows alongside the fully fitted barefoot, people could see actually the benefit of everything that we put in there, and it was all there for a good reason, including the wine rack. You know, there's lots of detail in there, and
right.
So people now just buy the fully fitted barefoot, and we just have the one layout. What we've found, we're a small company, and our learning curve almost. We've created a product that we know is beautiful, functional, people love it, and we've got demand from all around the world. So we're busy at the moment with not only just making sure the marketing in America works, but we're shipping caravans to Australia and New Zealand, to all around Europe, to South Korea, to Japan. So we've got huge interest. So it feels like we're just sort of on the tip of the iceberg with all of that at the moment. So creating a new model isn't, I'm not saying never say never, but it's not something on the agenda at the moment. We also have lots of people wanting to tow with the electric vehicles, which the barefoot allows itself for really well. It's very aerodynamic. It only reduces the range by sort of 20 to 25%. And we've got quite a lot of people either in couples or on their own who just want to be able to, keep a fairly small vehicle and be able to tow with that, and to have a bit of a lighter footprint as well. We're called barefoot for a reason. It's for people who want to be sort of outdoors and at one with nature, and quite discerning about how they do that. So there's the size of the barefoot fits well with that. Yeah.
Well, perfect. Well, listen, I do appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to come on here and talk about the barefoot. I think it's a very unique product and one that people do enjoy. So thanks again. Is there anything else that you feel that you need to tell people about your barefoot? Did we miss anything?
Well, really, just I think one thing that is interesting for us that we're learning about really is the route to market in the US. And so we had all these 10,000 inquiries about barefoot caravans originally, and the sales have not matched quite so well with the initial demand, I think I would say. And I think we're not reaching the right sorts of people in America. I don't think the dealer model works so well for our barefoot. We're niche. We're sort of for very discerning, affluent customers, but also people who wouldn't really necessarily have had an RV in the first place. So the customers that we have in the UK have mostly never ever had an RV before. So that's been an interesting challenge. So that's the sort of our brochure in the UK. We've teamed up with Country Living magazine, which is a very beautiful lifestyle magazine, and they actually might be able to find you a few photos of that we did from the photo shoot with them. So some of them that we went to a show with them in November, and it was quite fascinating that quite a few people flew over from America because they wanted to be connected with the product. So this was our launch in the UK last year, and a couple of the interiors that we do for them. But in the future, we'd be a collaboration like that in the US would be great, or finding the right route to market, whether it's through something on the coast, whether it's through a boat dealer, or whether it's through a lifestyle brand. So I think Jesse would probably agree with that. It's a niche product, and for whatever reason, with the regular dealer network, it doesn't sit so well. But we know there's demand for it because we've got demand all through the UK, right through Europe, and right, as I say, quite a lot of demand now in Australia and New Zealand. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting next couple of years to see where we take it. But I think there will be something involved that will get it to a slightly different audience in the US. I really appreciate you having me on the on your channel. And it might be that there's somebody out there who says, I want to market that. So who knows?
Yeah, that's right. Well, I tell you, and I know it was kind of difficult. I reached out to you just before the holiday season, and that kind of throws a wrench in things. So, but glad we were finally able to hook up and do this. Matter of fact, so by the way, this will be dropping next Monday. So okay. I'll be putting that out there, and you just find it.
Yeah, sorry, we have a bit of a delay, don't we? Because we're 5 hours in time difference apart, so which is makes it fascinating. Yeah, but we'll be looking out for that, and telling we have lots of followers on various social media platforms, and they'll be interested to know about yourself as well. So we'll make sure that we promote that, and I really appreciate you taking the time to chat to me today. So thank you.
Well, thank you, and folks, this was a great opportunity for you to kind of see, I guess, the beginnings of where the barefoot travel trailer or the little egg came from. So thank you. And I'm sure I'll bump into you at some point down the road.
Yeah, I hope so. We'll see you at a show. Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
Right. Take care.